Hey, and welcome to the channel. Laughing here, and today I'm talking about something a little bit different. So, on Friday, we actually got news that an anime that only got one season 8 years ago is actually getting a season two, which is pretty wild. There's actually a kind of a long line of anime that have only gotten a single season and then just kind of nothing. I know High School of the Dead, Dead Man's Wonderland, Batum. There's a bunch of other ones that I'll be honest, I'm just kind of forgetting right now. So hearing that this show is in fact getting a season two after 8 years is really good news, but also really surprising. And that show is Devil is a Part-Timer. So this is a really funny show. Basically, Satan and one of his generals get sent to the human world after being defeated by the hero Amelia, where he then becomes a part-timer at McDonald's, where he plans on once again staging his world domination with, of course, fast food. So really interesting premise, really fun story, and yeah, we only got one season way back when, but hey, now we are getting a second season now. No release date currently, but yeah, I figured we could watch the trailer together and you can kind of get my live reactions. So before we watch the trailer, I figured I'd give you some background info, and this comes from CBR.com. So before we get to watching the trailer, I figured I could kind of give you some more background info on this show. So, The Devil is a Part-Timer began life as a series of Japanese light novels written by Satoshi Wakahara and illustrated by 029, which ran from February 2011 to August 2020. A manga adaptation written by Wakahara and illustrated by Akio Hiragi launched in 2012. It is still ongoing today and has spawned a number of spin-offs, including the alternative universe set The Devil is a Part-Timer High School, written by Wakahara and illustrated by Kuroni Mishima, which ran from 2012 to 2015. An anime adaptation of The Devil is a Part-Timer was produced by White Fox and directed by Naoto Husada. It initially ran for a single 13-episode season, premiering in April 2013 and concluding a couple months later in June 2013. The animation crew for the newly announced Season 2 is yet to be announced, though the trailer does feature a slightly different art style than Season 1. And as stated before, we currently are still waiting for a release date. But yeah, in general, really excited to see this. It also sounds like the original Japanese voice actor cast is coming back. No word yet for the English dub, but we'll kind of have to wait and see. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the trailer here. All right, here we go. Still learning Japanese. Alright, main character. The hero. His coworker. He's probably that. Oh my god, the blind guy is probably the funniest character in the show. Oh, beach episode, alright. Gotta have that. Looks like we might be getting some new characters in Season 2, so, yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty excited. So admittedly, I haven't watched Season 1 in like 6 years, maybe 4 years. Maybe it hasn't been quite that long. So it's been a while. So I'm definitely going to go back and rewatch Season 1 in anticipation of Season 2 for sure. Especially whenever we get that release date. Probably watch it like a week or two before it actually comes out. But yeah, really excited. Looks like we're going to get some new characters, if I remember correctly. Looks like all the characters that we know and love, if you have seen the show, are still there. So I do gotta say that if you have not watched Devil's a Part-Timer, I highly recommend it. When I first heard of it, heard the premise, I'm like, it sounds kind of dumb, to be honest with you. Sounds kind of weird. The idea that the main character is like Satan kind of was weird to me. But I really do recommend it. It's actually a really, really good show. It's good. It really is good. So I just in general, I find if you find an anime that you like, you gotta tell your friends, you gotta tell other people who really like anime to watch it. Otherwise, stuff like this just doesn't happen. You're not gonna get your season two more times than not. So, really excited. The trailer looks good. Didn't really show off too much, but it's more Devil's a Part-Timer, so I'm not gonna complain. So yeah, that's pretty much it today. If you liked this content and you want to see more, please support the channel by hitting that like button, leaving a comment of whether or not you are excited for season 2 of this anime, or are there other animes that you really are hoping will get the Devil as a Part-Timer treatment and actually finally get its season 2. And please hit that subscribe button and the little bell as well, and hopefully I will see you again soon.